Just imagine the great change that you can make just by asking this to the Creator. Please help me to have the strength that I need to overcome every single test of today. Remind me that you are sending me energy in every situation that I feel overwhelmed, stressed, sad. Remind me that I only need to worship you because you are my God. Because I can't make my God my relationship, my business, my job, whatever it may be. Help me to understand and to remember this every single day of my life. Help me to have the certainty that everything's coming from you and is good and is there to help me to change, to show me what I need to change. Please remove the negative energy of my body and give me the strength, the light that is coming from you, and seal this divine energy in my body so no negative entity can enter in my body and affect me. Thank you.
Welcome everyone. This is my podcast. This is episode number 3, and I'm really excited to share this wisdom with you today because I think this is like really important just to be aware of. We're gonna be going through an energy the next 4 or 5 weeks where we will be tested. All right, we will be tested when it comes to relationships. So whatever we thought we overcame already, it will come back. Okay, so if you have any questions, like if you feel confusion regarding your relationships, either romantic relationships, business relationships, whatever it may be, you need to listen to this podcast because this might save you from making a mistake and then lose something or someone. Anyway, whatever happens, it will have to happen because that was your destiny or that was already predetermined anyway. But it's good to know what I'm gonna share with you today because it's something that I've learned recently, and I wouldn't just discard this information. So I'm gonna be talking about how we make our God, or like people or situations, like we make them our God. We prioritize them too much, and we forget what is really important in our life. So Kabbalah says. Well, actually, I'm gonna start by saying what psychology says about this, right? Because I like psychology and psychotherapy and all that. That's great. But when it comes to Kabbalah explains so deep and like it's at a spiritual level, soul level, and then you can understand even more about why it happened. How can I prevent this from happening again in the future and things like that? So, psychology says that you don't need to be too needy, right? Like you need to work on your neediness and your emptiness, and you don't need to chase because you need to know your worth and your value, and you need to set up boundaries, and you need to love yourself first and all that, right? But what is missing here is that if you prioritize a situation or a person, if you make them your God, that will be taken away from you eventually. And this is the core of this video, actually. Like this is the main message in this video. But just stay a little bit more because I will be saying more things added to this information. So if you prioritize too much, like if that is or that person is your source of happiness, that's a problem because that will be taken away from you. We came to this earth to gain or to earn the light of the Creator, to become like the Creator. So if we chase a situation or a business or a person, we are just forgetting our mission, our purpose in this world. Your purpose is not being a doctor or being a writer or being a trader or whatever it may be. Your purpose is to become like the Creator, because I explained this already. I don't know when or I don't know in what video. But the contract, let's say the spiritual contract, right, that you've made before coming to earth was, I'm going to go through these challenges in order to become like you, in order to seek out your help. That was the contract. So the main thing here is that if you prioritize, if that is your source of happiness that will be taken away from you, that means if you're constantly thinking about that person, if you don't think you can be happy without that person or without that business or without that situation, you are making that person your God, or that situation, that doesn't matter. So that means that if you're constantly thinking about them, if you're constantly thinking, oh no, I cannot make this mistake, I can't say this because then they will get upset over it, whatever, you are walking on eggshells because you are afraid of losing that person, right? And then we forget our essence. We forget ourselves in that relationship. So what does this mean? This means that if you think your source of happiness comes from them, you need to stop that. You cannot trust someone 100%. You cannot trust your happiness. You cannot just hand over your happiness, your emotional safety, your mental, your emotional well-being, and you cannot just put it in someone else's hands just like that. You first need to prioritize your connection with the Creator, and then the rest will come just to you. It will flow to you. But you cannot just prioritize someone or a situation before God. So this actually, Kabbalah says that if you want to become like the Creator, you need to connect to the light. So the first episode that I was talking about reactiveness and like the reactive behavior and all that is really related to this topic that I'm talking about today. Because if you want to become like the Creator, you need to think, you need to pause, you need to think in every situation. For example, let's say, am I staying in this relationship because I am afraid of losing this person, or am I staying because I know we can work it out, and even if I lose this person, I'm gonna be okay. Of course, it's gonna be painful, but I don't need this person to make me feel alive, to make me feel happy, because my source of happiness is not this person, it's God. So that means if you prioritize again a lot the other person and the other situation or whatever, that will be taken away from you. Just as simple as that. And that can be reflected on situations where you trust too much a doctor and you think that this doctor will be essential in your treatment, and you trust too much because otherwise you're gonna be feeling like you feel like you're not going to be okay without this doctor or whatever it may be. So just think about in what situations you're making your God a person, situation, any area of your life, and start taking a step back. Analyze your life. Analyze what you're doing with your thoughts, with your feelings, how you're managing these situations. And this is not about religion anyway. It is about spirituality, and this is something that you need to be aware of, because many people think believing in God is a religion. And not always. I don't have a religion. I consider myself a spiritual person. That means that I have a connection with God, and I know I'm not going to be 100% spiritual every single day of my life, because it's like a roller coaster. It goes up and down all the time. But just make sure you are not in your lows all the time. Make sure you have in your mind this idea of, I need to just connect with God every single day, because the same way we talk to our partner every single day, right, to maintain the relationship, because communication is key in a relation, is one of the keys in a relationship, we need to maintain this contact with God as well, because otherwise we're gonna get cold as well. So if you don't wanna prioritize something or someone, and you want to start prioritizing God first, you need to maintain that contact, genuine contact with Him every single day of your life. So I think this message is really important because, like I said, the energy of the following 4 to 5 weeks will be tested in relationships. So if you thought you were already okay with an past test and you think it will not come back, it actually will. From my experience, if you don't listen, if you don't learn this now, that person will be taken away from you. Trust me, because God cannot bless something or a relationship if you are forgetting Him. Just really simple. This actually, in the Bible, when they explain about not worshipping other gods and not having other religions and all that, it actually means, it might mean the other thing as well, but it actually means that if you are worshipping someone or something before Him, or like making that a priority, then you are not connecting to the light. So this is so mind-blowing, really. It's so mind-blowing. So I hope this episode was helpful for you, and I really hope this was enjoyable. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave any questions on below. And I hope to see you in my next episode. Thank you.